the audience a little bit about them.
Yeah, so the next speaker is Lucas Walls, who Lucas has been doing this for quite a while here in the St. Louis area. He's got a business partner, Sam Prim, and they actually purchased their first rental property in 2014. They still own that house today, so they didn't even just buy it, get it fixed up, rent it up a little bit, and then sell it off. They still own that one, they had full-time jobs. They kind of do like what a lot of people do is you got a full-time job. You kind of build some passive income properties and assets to your rental portfolio. And then, they incorporate fix and flipping. And the cool thing about that is that they build 3 amazing divisions of their business, including a rental business. They hold up to $45 million or more. I think the last number I thought was like $46 million portfolio value, comprised of single-family homes, apartment complexes, storage facilities, vacation rentals, and they've got a flipping business. So they've got all 3 legs of the tripod there in real estate investing. And I don't want to steal all of his thunder. I want to let him tell you a little bit about himself. Otherwise, he's just going to sit there and smile and wave, right? So we want there he is. We want Lucas to be able to share his story with you too. But
hi, Lucas.
There you go.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen? How you doing? I can smile and wave. I'm good with that.
Well, welcome to the show. I am super excited that you're going to be speaking at the Gateway to Freedom show. Christina's fantastic, and you are another one of those people that are working in the St. Louis market that is doing a great job, crushing the game. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, appreciate it, Nathan, and thanks for having me, Nathan and Rich. Yeah, I'm Lucas Walls here. Like Rich was saying, we own, 3 main, I would call it for-profit businesses, and that's our flipping business, where we flip upwards of did over 300 houses last year. Our rental portfolio, about $46 million worth of cash flowing real estate, and then we did that so many times, and we saw these gurus out there trying to teach people how to do it, that we thought we were true experts in building a rental portfolio. So we started an education business as well, me and my business partner, Sam Prim, in all these. So that's pretty much our main 3 for-profit businesses. Lately, in the past couple of years, we started our passion project, which is a non-for-profit focused around mental health and strengthening mental wellness in our community for our staff, for our team members, but also for our St. Louis community as well. So that's been really cool, growing that with my friends and family as well. And this all started, as Rich was saying, with that one house about 10 years ago, and it's been quite a journey since.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Rich, you know a little bit about Lucas. You've known him over the years here in St. Louis. And why don't you share a little bit with the audience about, some of the strengths that you believe that Lucas is going to bring to the Gateway to Freedom from his presentation. And then I'll let Lucas talk a little bit about those strengths to the audience.
Yeah, like Lucas said himself, and I'll put this back on him, but like Lucas said, it started out with him and Sam, and they built their business to this big, nice size, big company, and several divisions of his company. So he realized, and I think Sam realized, they weren't going to be able to do this all themselves, right? So they had to build a team. They had to build a network around them to help them out. And the nice thing is seeing, whether it's from up close or from a distance, you see that these guys and Lucas being instrumental in that part is that they're doing things right. They're trying to build something that's going to withstand, any type of difficulties they might face. You never know what's going to happen to the market. So they're not building a straw man. They're not building a house of cards. They're trying to build something out of bricks. So when the big bad wolf comes blowing, it's going to stay standing. What would you say about that, Lucas?
Yeah, I would agree. I think, we fell in love initially with real estate and investing, and that's how this all started. But since then, we've kind of fell in love with our team and building a team, and what that can, and the fulfillment that can come from that, and also the scalability and everything else that comes along with that as well. What we're building now, it's, we're up to about 50 team members, and those are true W-2 employees. And I feel like we're just getting started, because this is the foundation, our people, our culture, and they'll be the ones that help take us to the heights that we want to reach here in the future.
So, Lucas, I guess the first question I'd have for you is, how have you failed along the way? Because I think John Maxwell has a famous quote: "You can go from failure to success. You just can't go from excuse to success," right?
Yeah.
So, how have you failed along the way, and what have you learned in that journey, in that process?
Yeah, I don't, man. There's so many times I've failed. It's crazy. So I feel like I fail every day. That's what real estate is. A lot of little failures, and then boom, one big win, one big success, right? So I think it's really not what I failed about, but just my mindset around failure and how I look at that as a learning opportunity and ability to grow from. So if you get in this business thinking that you're going to make every single right decision, and if something hits you in the mouth and you fall back and go away, this is not the business to be in. So you got to learn to be able to learn from your failures, because they're going to happen, and then just kind of switch your mindset around that and take it as a learning opportunity and go grow from that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. One of the questions that I get asked all the time, and I'd love to ask this question of you because I get asked it so much. What are some tips or tools that you use with your team in order to get them bought into your vision?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I think that starts, really early in the process, even before they're on the team, and just start communicating what the vision is very often. Number one, they have to know the vision, know the core values. What is vision? I think that's a great it's a great start. Like, people hear vision all the time. It's where we're going. It's culture. It's all these things combined. So what does vision mean to you? And then communicate that over and over and over. And yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And then we all look at trust, right? If we have trust bought into one each other, not just me as the owner, but all throughout the team, if that trust is there, and I am communicating a vision, they're going to get bought in sooner rather than later. But it starts with me communicating that vision, even in the hiring process, early and often.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Lucas, you're doing such a great job. We have people that are actually asking questions right now. There's so many questions that are starting to come in, and we'll get to those questions in just a second. But I wanted to ask this question for you. When you first started, think back to when you first started Faster House and the 3 different legs and the arms, and you guys it seems like you have great vision here in St. Louis. Your name's all over all kinds of things. What did you do to find or get that vision for yourself of what you wanted to achieve? Was there a process you went through? Was there something that you did that led you into identifying that vision? Did it unfold along the way? How did it work for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, it's a little more tactful or than it could be. But we follow the book called Traction, and use the EOS model operating system in our business. And it just explains how important vision is to your business, number one, and realizing that if everybody in the company has something that we're rowing towards together, how much more seamlessly we can all scale. So in Traction, there is what we call a long-term target. That's like the pie in the sky. Just throw it out there. Who cares how we're going to get there? Don't worry about it, but it needs to be in our head. And then we have a more tactful vision of a 3-year picture with actual steps that we need to take to achieve our 3-year picture. And in Traction, it has a document that we keep this in. We update it quarterly. We communicate it with our team on a quarterly basis as well.
That's awesome. Rich, what are some questions that you think people will have prior to coming to the Gateway to Freedom event, November 4th and 5th, that's coming up in St. Louis? What are some questions you think that people will have for Lucas, and questions that they should come to the event asking in their mind?
Yeah, Nate. So, Lucas, what would you say, like, when somebody they do want to grow, they do want to scale, maybe they're just stuck in a rut as a solopreneur, and they'd like to, maybe scale a little bit, but they don't know how to do it. What kind of, I guess what I'm asking is, what kind of things should somebody look out for when they're looking for somebody to help them in building a team or coming on board with them on a team?
Man, that's a great question, Rich. And it's probably like a half-hour answer, but I'll try to break it down as little as I can. So you've said this earlier in the program here, Rich, that real estate can be a solo entrepreneurship journey, and that there's nothing wrong with that. You can have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 rentals and have a property management company and you just are hands off at the beach. There is nothing wrong with it. That's the power of real estate. But if you want to build a team for other reasons and fulfillment and scalability, then I think you got to really start working on yourself as a leader. That's where leadership comes into play. And once you build that leadership, you can get people bought into your vision and get people on board. But then it gets a little more tactful for that. So build your leadership skills, then figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at. And that usually correlates with what you like doing and what you don't like doing. So what you're good at and what you like, keep doing it for as long as possible until you can find somebody better than you to do that job. So the first hire that I made was something I hated doing. I hated writing checks and keeping track of all the bills. I hated that, and I can vividly imagine sitting at my kitchen table 7 years ago and just writing checks and balancing checkbooks and recording transactions for hours each night. I'm like, this is not what I thought I wanted to get myself into. So that's really the first hire that we made, was that office manager position, and that helped me get out of the weeds and elevate and help scale the business and grow the business.
Awesome. I guess one of the last questions I'll have, and then we'll jump into some questions from those that are online watching the live cast today, Lucas. The last question I'd have for you around this topic of teamwork is leadership. If you're building a team, is extremely important. Whether it's inside team or outside team members, you got to have leadership. What are some leadership tools or examples or models that you use that kind of help set your business up for success?
Yeah, I think that leadership. Yeah, if everybody thinks of a leader in their head right now, everybody's that they like or want to emulate, it's probably a different person for everybody. So, and I got some leaders that I've looked up to along my life too. So I've been lucky enough to have those awesome people in my life. And what I've done is just try to take the pieces that I think are most powerful and beneficial to myself and my team and try to implement them into my life. So there's I would call leadership an art and not a science. So, and the cool thing about that is you can create a leadership feel or a culture of your company of whatever you want. That's the beautiful thing about this. You just got to decide what that is and go all in and be authentic to yourself. So, so I would just say be yourself. Pick pieces from people you want to emulate and go be that person. And obviously there's a lot of great books along the way to help you build that leadership. Like Jocko Willing's got a great one, Extreme Ownership, Good to Great, Traction, talk about a level 5 leader. Cause usually what people look at as a true leader out there is not necessarily what a true leader should look like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. People are loving the book ideas. They're loving the book recommendations. And if you follow my show for any length of time, you know that I talk about books a lot. And that's because if you're a leader, you are likely a reader, and you're an avid student, right? You're disciplined of all the different trades and skills of the things that you're trying to achieve and accomplish. That's called being intentional. So we're extremely excited to be able to ask you some questions. They're coming in online. I'm going to throw one up from Jason that's on the screen. He wants to know, how do you find great team members to help you with your flipping business, mainly contractors, laborers? How do you attract them to your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, if they know about your business before your initial conversation with them, it's always easier, a better segue into getting them to work for you. So, and then that comes to branding, right? It could be, if it's just yourself and you're looking to attract contractors, put what you're doing on social media. Everybody loves to see those before and after pictures or video walkthroughs of a house. I'm running low on battery here, guys, so give me a second. I'm gonna plug this in. But reputation, and then treat them fairly as well. So contractors, there's a lot of tactful ways to go find them, but I would start with your network first. Ask relatives, ask friends, ask business partners for referrals, and that'll help shorten that learning curve there.
So that's an incredible answer, because I think it is important that we have a a brand that is attractive, that other people want to work for. Whenever you are doing anything in this world, you got to have a reputation that other people want to follow. And that brand is not just those before and after pictures, but really what it is your integrity, showing others that this is what we do and we do a great job when we do it. And then other people want to be a part of that. Wouldn't you agree, Lucas?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a beautiful way to say it. I think to get people in the door and to learn about you, it's that flashy stuff, that before and afters, but to have sustainability and to get people to trust you and like you, want to work for you, it's that integrity, it's that communication, it's all those other things that people kind of forget about every once in a while, and that's why their relationships suffer.
So then I would say one of the other questions that we have coming in is tied right into a question that I had for you on the side. I'm just going to ask it my way. I apologize to the person that asked it in their way, but I'm going to ask it in a different way, just for the purpose of the show today. In what areas of your life are you most consistent or inconsistent?
Ooh, in what areas of my life am I most consistent or inconsistent? Kind of comes at a good time, that question. I'm reading the book called The One Thing by Gary Keller. I've read it before, but it's been years, so I wanted to reread it. And it talks about discipline a lot in that book, and how discipline's almost kind of a myth, right? What discipline is, or what allows you to do, is develop a habit. That's all it does. So you need that 3 to 6 months of developing a habit, and once that's gone, you don't need discipline. So I would call it. I'm going to reframe that question just a little bit and call it my what's the, like, things that I'm not willing to go without, right? And that's my exercise in the morning. That's my spending time in thought or meditation or prayer or whatever that is for you. That's my family time. So I've been lucky enough to be able to build a business where I get to spend time with my family in the morning. I go to work, I bust my ass from 8 to 5, and I come home and I get to spend time with my family again. So it used to not be like that, where I was working weekends and nights, and there's some times where I got to jump back in and do that. But long term and in general, I like to keep those time blocked out for my families. So.
Awesome. Wonderful. Yeah. So that will bring us to the conclusion with the time that we have with Lucas. I'll let Rich do the final kind of walkthrough and question here. And then I have one final question for the takeaway. But the question that I have for you, Rich, is we should have did this with Christina, and I want to make sure that we do this for everybody today. There is a promotional code that people can use in order to get some dollars back on their tickets, I think. And if you like what Lucas had to say and you want to see Lucas, what's the promotional code that people can use when they attend the Gateway to Freedom and go get their tickets at www.g2free.com?
Yeah, and this is a big one. We're doing this for 24 hours only, so we will shut it down at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and it's just for your viewers and the people who've seen this. But for the next 24 hours, if they use the promo code Nathan, that's your name, Nathan. If they use the promo code Nathan, they're actually going to get 50%, not $50, 50% off either the general admission or the VIP ticket. So that's huge discount right now. Just wanted to do this as a special because of this hype that we're building with the sneak peek that we're doing right now.
Holy cow! That's guys. If you're in my audience, go buy your ticket right now. Don't even wait. Just go get it. Go to g2free.com, and I didn't even know they were doing this. Promo code Nathan, and they will give you 50% off of your tickets. Like, don't wait around. That's something like there's value in what they're doing right now, worth way more than the amount of money you're going to put into it. Here's one thing I can promise you: if you're in my audience, I wouldn't bring somebody on that wants more from you than they ever want for you. And so I want to make sure you understand that how much effort and energy goes into coordinating an event like this, putting all of the people together, all of the stuff that they're doing. This is a labor of love for you that they've put this event on. It comes out of a heart and a passion and a desire for freedom, which is what we're talking about with the Gateway to Freedom event. So I'll come back to you, Lucas, and ask you the final question. We got about 4 minutes now. What does freedom mean to you?
Yeah, I think The word freedom, well, first of all, I feel like it's a little cliche nowadays. It's been overused because it's such a powerful word. People love it, right? But freedom to me means 100% control of being in 100% of control of your time, money, and happiness. That's what freedom means to me.
100% in control of your time, money, and happiness. So thank you very much, Lucas, for being with us today. I hope everybody wants to go now to the Gateway of the Freedom event to see not only you, Lucas, but also Christina, Rich, and some of the next guests that we have coming up. I totally appreciate your time. And again, I have to say very much thank you for taking the time to attend and be with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, this is just a sneak peek of what the actual event's going to be like, but it was a lot of fun, and excited to see you guys again soon.